Guys, what's up? Today we're going to talk a little bit about negative thinking patterns. So, I was working with one of my friends on a mock call, learning how to set someone for an appointment. And he was struggling with continuously staying present and in the moment. So, what would happen would be we'd be practicing. He would be the person calling the prospect, I would play the prospect. And actually, he would be doing really well. He would be asking the questions that he needed to, good tone, everything was perfect. And then it seemed like something happened where in his mind something had switched to where he wasn't confident anymore. He felt very uncomfortable and he wasn't able to actually continue on that call. So I want to break down all the things that he was going through and really explain how we can move past this and develop our strength in staying in the moment, not regressing into our subconscious or our conscious mind, and really taking control of our lives so that we're not at the whims of our deficiencies. Okay, so I'm going to break it down for you. I made you a little presentation. So we got negative thinking patterns, breaking it down, what this means. Okay, so first we have our baseline. This is like normal when you show up to a party, or your normal state of mind. That could be whenever you wake up and you're comfortable and your life is perfect and you feel open to talking to other people. Nothing's really bothering you. You're comfy, right? So then we have an event. We have something that makes us feel uncomfortable or makes us reflect real quick. It's honestly, it could be one little thing like looking at someone and they give you a weird look, or maybe you stumble on some of your words. So an event happens which causes regression into the mind. And what I mean by that is now you are not fully in the moment. You're thinking about how other people perceive you, maybe what you look like, how you're speaking. You're telling yourself, like, oh, don't do this, don't do that. And it really starts to come into conflict with your ability to focus on reality or things that are right in front of you, the physical world. And then we disintegrate, realize that I'm not saying disintegrate, but disintegrate of self. So, what happens when we linger in that state where we're constantly thinking about like what we're doing, how we're acting? We have natural phases in our psyche that take over, and we don't have to consciously think about them. They're all integrated, they're all one. And it's kind of like a pie, right? We have like the things that control our sight, our facial expressions, our body language, and our tone of voice. When all of those are integrated, that would be our regular baseline, how we normally act. But once an event happens that takes us out of alignment, the other parts of ourselves start to disintegrate so that now we have to consciously think about how to stand or how to look, how we speak. And that is what happens when we regress into our mind. Once we linger there and we don't correct ourselves and move ourselves back into the moment, we damage our self-image and our esteem to ourselves and to other people too. But what's really important is that gets damaged within ourselves. Our own view of ourselves becomes damaged. So this is really important because you can disprove your ability to do something because of consistent regression into your mind. And once you go through a full event, for example, you go to a party and something happens, you feel awkward, and the awkwardness grows, and you become more detached from the current moment. You fully experience that experience to the end. And at the end, you reflect and see that it was a bad moment, that you were awkward, other people were awkward, they saw that it was weird, you felt horrible. Now you reflect on it and you accept that as truth. You'll say to yourself, I'm really bad at socializing, or I'm not good at parties. Okay? And this is the damage that you cause yourself when you don't fix this problem. And now, because that pattern happened, when you experience an event similar to that, the pattern is going to run its course much, much quicker than it ever has before. And then it's just a downward spiral from there. That's how you experience extreme depression or being unsocial for a long time, and you decide that you want to stay in and you don't want to go out and make friends. You're not social anymore. You're not outspoken or desiring to take chances and further your career. And then now your new baseline is less than what it was before. You've damaged your self-esteem, and now your new normal is damaged, okay? Now this is how we need to fix it. We're going to go through the whole thing again, but this is what it's going to look like when you start to correct this, okay? So we're at our baseline. That's our normal, okay? It doesn't matter if you're damaged at this point. We're all damaged. So you're at your baseline. You don't feel nervous. You feel normal, whatever. You go to a party. Something negative happens that makes you reflect and kind of regress into your mind and become unattached to the current moment. That's the regression into mind. But now we have awareness that that happens. Okay, we see that that's a common thread in our experience. So we can now detach from that emotion, the emotions of fear, of nervousness, embarrassment. So we take ourselves and we detach what we're feeling from who we are. And instead of being within the emotion and associating yourself with the emotion, we are now experiencing the emotion and looking at it and being a totally different entity, splitting the two so we can observe it. So you can feel emotion physically. That's actually how we know what the emotion is. Okay? So now you need to relax your mind and relax your body. For example, when you feel nervous, physiology tells us that you experience the same things, the same physical sensations in fear as you do excitement. The only thing that is different is how we classify that physiological sensation. So now that we're focused, we've separated ourselves from the emotion, we see the regression has happened. We need to turn our focus from inward to outward. I would definitely use your eyes to, especially in a conversation, if you have social anxiety and you're talking with someone, and this starts to happen, when you start to regress into your mind and become nervous, focus on the other person. Because what's happening is all of your attention is toward yourself. And that is just too much. You are not going to be perfect. If you are sincerely and 100% focused on yourself, you are going to find things that are not perfect. That is normal. But now, instead of doing that, we need to bring awareness to the situation and flip our focus from inward to the material world. Okay, so now once we've done that, we can now actually maintain focus on the current moment and stay present. And you're still going to have some of these emotions. You're still going to have some of these physiological sensations. Okay? But we need to ignore those. Just feel them. And that is okay. That is totally okay to just ignore those emotions. Feel them. Don't let them take control over you. Just observe and stay in the current moment. So now once we do that, we will establish a new baseline of someone who can consciously see when they're regressing into their mind, becoming nervous. They can detach from the nervousness, the physical sensation of that. They can observe it. Now they can bring themselves to a more calm state while also maintain focus on the physical world, which brings you more into the present moment. And once you do that consistently, you establish a new baseline. And then after that happens, you consistently correct mental regression. You develop a new baseline and you gain more confidence. And after a while, this strengthens your self-esteem, and it also strengthens your new baseline. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you got something out of this, and I can't wait to hear what you guys think.